places are than I thought. Alright. Hmm. Hmm. No, these should be... Okay, so they might be partially soft-coded. Some of the stuff might be any configurable. Hmm. Hmm. Oh no. I'm gonna need so many globals for enchantment levels. Ugh. Hmm. Alright. Hmm. Let's probably up the menu code a bit at some point, but for now I'll just keep adding variables. Variables that I know I'll need. I should probably do calling scripts. Yeah, think about it. Not calling, not called, calling. Make them overrelated global speed. Ah. I guess? I have to check some scripts. Your higher levels is usually pretty empty. Okay, yeah, I get serious then. Not required, but used. Not used to, but used in. Calling the script. Not directly used. Globals or globals used as arguments. Anywho, right, so this is a bit of commenting that I have developed. I don't think my college taught this. No, college definitely did not teach this. I did. I came up with this because I had to look at other people's mods to try and figure out how they did something that sounded similar to what I wanted to do. Find out you can't really trace your way through the code that well. Like, you'd have to have worked on it to really know where everything is. I want to mitigate that. So, I have at the header of every script these blocks, these tables, or these lists of used and related scripts and globals. So that way you know A, what scripts there are, being called inside and what globals are being used. So it says that this global gets used here, it gets called, you should be careful, it may get modified in here. Used script, again, it's going to call this function, so if you decide to modify that script, you gotta be sure it still jives well with this current script you're looking at. Then we have related ones, which are, other side of the relationship. It's like, hey, this script doesn't use this related script at all anywhere in here, but the related one probably just does depend on this one. So, honestly, that might be hard to follow without using labels. So if we're on script A, and we use script B, and for related to script C, A uses B, A calls B at some point or multiple points. So if you ever modify script B, you gotta be sure it still jives with script A. Also, it also does the extra fact of saying, like, hey, if you see this thing that doesn't look like a variable name, that's because it's a function, because we have this list of basically functions that are going to be called right at the top. And then after then we have related script C, which is C will not appear in script A. However, if you go and look at script C is going to call script A, or is in some way dependent upon what script A does. So if you modify script A, things are going to change in script C unless you be sure they don't. Also partially answers the question of like, oh hey, this is a neat function, but where is it used? Related script. C uses this script. That's where it's used. And similar to with the globals. I just finished eating dinner. One of the pauses I had earlier is because a little bit of lettuce that didn't quite go down had to come out while I was talking. I just There's post I'm listening to already. Oh my god, it's hot. I mean, did have the AC on for a while, but it's still really hot in here because A, it's like 33 degrees Celsius outside, and B, my cat barged in, which definitely let hot air in. So, oh, there's no Toho piano mix I was listening to before this one. Oh well. Okay. So what do we need? Actually, how did I even title those before? Yep, I just used the spell codes. Oh, and that would have let her right. Right. Wonder why I didn't put letters in front of here, though. Oh, right, because they're user-facing. I can probably do R for reference at this point. Yeah, I didn't quite do it for everything, did I? Alright, let's adjust that then. Reference, 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 reference. Float, float, float. Long, long, long. Float, float, float. Float, float, float. Well, normally you could do that, but that takes longer to type out, you know? SDR, that's fine. No, honestly, there's few enough strings in the game, in the code. Although when we get to validation, there should be a lot of strings, but outside of that, there's not that many. Okay, so we need the base and multiplier. And for globals, we need levels for everything. Fuck. Yeah, I just did it by numbers. All digits. Yep, gonna be the same thing. Want a float or a short? Honestly, it depends what the base value. I mean, the multipliers are going to be floats all the way because then you can do fractional increases. Ah, yes, shorts. Okay. I'd like to say I could. So, fortify attribute is just one spell code, and then within it you have to specify which attribute you're increasing. So I could have, you know, strength base and then strength mult, but that's like fucking a lot because then there's like 8 attributes and then there's like 21 skills, and that's just going to bloat this. It's going to bloat part of the code, and it would be nice. Then you could have a less useful skills scale a lot faster. More useful skills scale slower. And I thought about it, I'm actually considering doing that. Because I already have the menu code, because like you have to, as I said, you have to choose an attribute or a skill specifically. It's not just a general do everything. When you choose fortify attribute or fortify skill. So I have the menu code in place, which means I could technically adjust things by specifically attribute or skill. Well, again, we want short S. Base, and then float F. mult. Right? Yeah, mult for multiplier. Scale? Scalar? Like SCLR? Scalar? Yeah, I'll stick with mult. No, increment? Increment. Increment. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, Control F, Alt. Control H. Increment. There. Alright. There's a percent sign. Okay. So, I don't think I need that much. It's just the globals that there's going to be a hell of a lot. Still not maybe there's more enchantment effects for Agronach, but there's half as many items as Sephiroth, so it may end up being less globals. Still end up being a lot, though. I have to wonder why I was inconsistent, though, with it. I mean, if a variable was never, ever exposed to the user, then I definitely put the thing in there, except for strings, I believe. Something. I use either descriptive names, but I don't quite tell you what the variable type is. In all of them. Weird. Huh. Yeah, it's just those two items for, except for Enchant Dark Seek and Resist. Okay. Don't really have resist, though. As for the wish variables, that's going to depend a lot on what can be implemented. As well as how, because I'm still unsure. Maybe I should turn the AC on. Looking at the sound gauges, the music is pretty low. That's fine. Be quiet for me too, but if I turn on the AC, it's like registering as loud as my voice, it seems. Which is easily over twice the volume of the... or is it twice? Right, decibels are a logarithmic scale, so never... Unless it's a linear... God damn it, decibels are so freaking... Sound industry, physics, math, they don't... They all use the word decibel, but they all measure different things. So the physics decibel is a logarithmic scale. And it's just looking at the bars. The bar for AC and therefore my voice is twice as big as the one for the music. Which signals to me that you... But actually, yeah. It has to kind of get around the bottom of the yellow zone. Ah, right. You can't see that. You may not remember, because you may not use OBS that regularly, if at all. But the audio meter has, like, it's green up until the right fourth. In which case 1/8 is red and then 1/8 is yellow. And red is when you're at the peak in range. When you have audio so loud it, clips. Gets distorted, whatever. It hurt your ears. Yellow is... I mean, yeah, it's getting close, but yellow is very clearly, you can hear it. And green is, well... It's a much wider range, just takes up 3/4 of the bar. But if you're close to the yellow, but still on green, then you're fine. You're still clearly audible, and music is nowhere near that. So I wonder how long this has been, because I think this is the second or... Oh, right, it's a 6-hour. 5.5 hours in. Okay. Having it stretch and blink is relaxing in its own way. Okay, so now then, what I do... I assume I've got this right. No, I don't. Yeah, there we are. Or... There we go. Like at this point, I should just be typing it straight into the editor instead of a txt. Because, I mean, eventually I'm just going to copy and paste this code into the editor. And if I've made mistakes, there's going to be like a lot of red and a lot of error. That's going to be immediately very frustrating, but I'll just sift through it. So this may not be a bright idea. Fish, man. Both times I almost typed fresh. And yes, that one Discord notification is for a new manga chapter. Or a manhwa. I'm not quite sure which yet. Probably manhwa. Yay! Okay, so that's all of the predefined enchantment effects. Now I also need to throw down resist water damage. Wait, water walking doesn't. Right. I could stick with the code Night Eye, even though it's just an on or off thing. I could stick with the code because critical chance is going to come with Night Eye. Never separate, but it could get confusing. Yeah, I'll just replace it with crit. It's like when I stretch, it doesn't really feel that hot, but as I start hunching forwards into the keyboard to type, it just... So my flesh is full of it. I guess I have to decide how critical chance works now. Oh, wait. I guess it would have to be a float, wouldn't it? Yeah, because I can do an int for the random number generator. So that's fine. Yeah, so I can just set like base 2, increment 0. There you go. Yeah, flat crit multiplier, but still configurable to be scaling. Hmm. Alright, I mean, whatever, getting fortify athletics is fine. That still feels weak to me. Also, I gotta poop, so I guess now's a good time to hit the AC. It'll be... eh. Eh. Whatever. And 6 minutes later, that BRB ends. Oh, while on the throne of thought, I have some thoughts. As is the case when on the throne of thought. I think I'll change this from Fortify Athletics to Restore. Oh, but how do I differentiate from the others? Wasp base, alright. Yeah, okay. Not sure if there's a way to tell if a player has got the breath gauge. I know I can tell if you're swimming. There's actually an is swimming function. It is there. Underwater check. Like, are you breathing? I mean, there's can breathe, no tick, skip breath too, but I don't know if that... Can't act or swim breath. Huh. So I can get what the current amount of breath you have. Alright. Let's look for water. That should also give us underwater. Oh, is underwater. Returns one of the clone references. Z-axis is less than 120 units under its parent cell's water height. So, 120 units under the water table. Less than. So one above water, or is it one when you're below water? partner effect. Oh, I kind of get it then. Because you do have to go down into the water to hit swimming, right? Okay. Oh, it might be buggy though. It genuinely might be buggy. I can call it swimming for sure, but oh boy. Wait, he's in dangerous water. The hell? How's this function? Returns one if the actor is currently in dangerous water, e.g. lava. Of course. I've been saying they just go lava as water that hurts, but oh, okay, this really does confirm it. And is underwater. Nope. Okay. Guess it depends how accurate his underwater will be. Also, do I really want these effects to trigger while you're swimming? Or while you're breathing water? What is water breathing, after all? Yeah, I mean, there's an unused effect in the engine called resist water damage. That should really tell you all you need to know. Okay. Like, yeah, I can check if they're underwater. But how? But do I have to check every time the scripts run, or can I have a listener for this? Event handlers. On hit with, on magic effect hit, on magic effect hit 2. On actor, equip, on death, on murder, on knockout, blah blah blah. Actor drop a spell cast, fall impact, health damage, create spell, create. I think I used the on-create spell handler. I think. Wait, no, I don't. I don't need to use that. It would be on enchantment. There is an on enchant handler. I definitely use that, or at least there were no bugs with it. I know I had some bugs I had to squash with that, but maybe it wasn't the handler itself bugged. On release, on block, on recoil, stagger, dodge, soul trap, magic cast, magic play, on water dive, on water surface. Okay. Good, good, good. On water dive, on water surface. Those exist. They exist. Alright, that honestly handles that for me, so now I can just say, okay, once you get the enchantment, just place these handlers, and then the handlers will add and remove the restore effects. Actually, hold up. While I'm on the matter of this. There we are. Because I can just set these values to 0 later on. In fact, I plan to set them to 0, but just because I have, you know, I have Restore Fatigue and Restore Magicka. I plan them to be different values. So, makes sense I just have Restore Health in there too and set it to 0. So that way, you know, you dig through the uni file and you find out, oh, hey, I can make this stronger. You know, I mean, you can make everything stronger in uni file. It's a large uni file. Or will be. Okay, so water walking does not have scalar component. Alright, where is list of magic effects? ESP doesn't list the spell codes, okay. Or at least it didn't clearly show them. No, it doesn't clearly show them. Okay, spells. I think I have to include the site name. What is it? cs.elderscrolls.com. Okay. Let's see. I think if I look up effects though. And active effect codes or something like that. Added by automations, that won't help. add effect item should have list. Yeah, magic effects list. There we are. Here's the link. Okay, resist water damage. It's very simple. Resist water damage. There we go. That's it. Just so I know, I know I have it up there, but for later. Whatever. Just water damage. Okay, that would be all the enchant effects. Stats, we got enchantment stats. There's strings for things. There are strings for many things. After this, oh yeah, keybinds, mimic stuff. We can scratch this whole section. Latency. Okay. Index validation stuff. Oh boy. Oh boy. Index validation. Flags. And then just miscellaneous shorts, long strings, and arrays. Probably replace those with R, put an R in front. Easy's going on. Oh my. It's quite hot. This thermostat on the remote only has Fahrenheit. And it says 79. Oh, this isn't the work clock. Oh yeah, I did read. Okay. Yeah, I did read that. Okay. Do some more. Reading AA's clarity about grinding me, I'm going to have this be an Omni ESP eventually. Fan speed set to low both because it's quieter. Well, yeah, honestly, just because it's quieter. There's no second reason. But it still feels nice. I do want to clean this up a bit, though. Because double slash is not... Well, it's not... what was the term? Oh, right. It's not how comments work in the engine. Welcome back. I'll leave this. Boils off then. Is that really how I declare them? Oh, yeah, that's how they're declared. Okay. Alright. Encapsulate those or... Ah, okay. I can try it out like this. Yes. Doing like this does draw my eyes to the variables instead of to the header. I mean, here it's like... I'm trying like this for a while. Yeah, it's a lot of enchantment stats. Okay, so... Million... Protect, fire shield... Yeah, I should probably do this. Midyear. In there. Barbara. And voila. So these variables are ready to be just copy pasted. instead of start just call it Gmail. Yeah, that should be fine. A bit longer, but well, now it's even more obvious what it should be. Should also get into the habit of uploading this stuff to a GitHub repository. I mean, the term, the short description is a online repository for code, but if you don't know what a repository is, let alone an online one, that doesn't really help you much. So, I'm going to have to find the project to look at to actually show you. Yeah, it's not. Instead, looking at the home page is not a good example. That wouldn't be on this window. GitHub shortcut should be on the left monitor. GitHub desktop. I can open this in a few months. Okay, is this the desktop app? I wonder if I can go straight to the online one from here. But it's bitrate's not crap, or rather at risk of being 0. I know you guys say that you can still hear me even when the bitrate's absolutely shit, but I gotta be sure. When it's 0, it may have just cut out completely, and I can't tell. Well, you can't see much eval right now, I know that much. I'm looking at the bitrate. And this is why I chose Saturdays. There's usually not much detail to see. But it is an online database for your code. So, you can upload your code to it. You can have multiple people working on the same project. But what's helpful is that it will keep track of all the edits everybody does to any of the files. And on top of that, as you can see here, it will show you some stuff like, I go to an older one, I suppose. Update, yeah. So it'll show you any kind of changes that have been done to the files. New ones, deletions, just straight changes to things. And you can, The main benefit is version control, to go back to using jargon, which is the fact that, as I said, anyone that you've, I guess, given permission to can just, is it permission or is it just anyone? I forget. But generally, it's people who have permission can upload files to the project on GitHub. But the thing is that they have branches. So basically, you can all work on your own little versions of the files, and then you can do a pull request to the master. And what the pull request will do is it'll take everybody's versions of the files and then say, here, there's differences here, 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 and here, and here between all of your versions of the same files. And then you get to choose which ones you want to keep or discard. So that way, it's easier to change things, I guess. Gosh, I haven't done a great job explaining it. In part because I've only used GitHub by myself, and it really shines in a group because of the branches stuff. On GitHub, maybe that will do something. Oh, here we are. There we are. So yeah, we have a README, so online, and then you can just, I'm not sure what that drop down is, but you should be able to go in here, see the updates, and you can just download this stuff. At least I think you can. You might need permissions, but at the very least, this all this stuff just comes inside of the zip. You download it off the mod page, but it's here too, just so I can get used to using GitHub. Oh yeah. So basically, GitHub keeps track of. I'm not sure how much of this stuff I can see without signing in. But yeah, I can keep track on here, take a look at everything, and then if I was signed in, yeah, you need to sign in, you can actually edit the code directly on here, or you can download it, edit it on your code editor, and then upload it back here with the changes. But the other thing is, under actions? I'm not sure. You can see a history of how many uploaded changes there were. Like how many times someone uploaded a new or edited file, and when, and what was changed exactly, which you can see more clearly here with the history. Not sure where to see it on the site. At least when you're signed out. There's that, but again, the main thing is the branches. So basically, it creates, a duplicate from that point of all the files, and you just work with your branch. So what you're doing has no effect on the actual master branch that you're going to release. You're just working on your own little branch of code. And then when you're done with your stuff, you can request to merge with the master. And then what will happen is, of course, if you're in charge of it, then you can just force the merge through because you know what's up. But normally you'd request for a merge, and then somebody else who's, like, say, the manager of the project will look at it, and if they approve it, they're going to see which files are changed and which ones they want to overwrite on the master branch with your versions. Or you could honestly do there's pull and push, and I think I might get mixed up now. I think it's a pull request, and then there's a push request. Anyway, you can also, if the master branch has been updated while you're working on your stuff, you can request to get those new files moved to yours as well, and see what that changes. So yeah, all told, it just gets really easy to deal with version control by using GitHub, because everybody's got their own little version of the code, and then GitHub itself will show you what's different, what exactly down to the last line is different about each thing at each point in time. Like here, you can see I actually changed this line to have a bit of formatting in there. I made the name blue. So when it appears in the console, in game, it stands out. Other things as well. And then here I remember reading it and realizing, oh yeah, I can make that a lot shorter because of how bits work, bit masking. But yeah, GitHub. I can't say I'm an expert on it, but I hope I've given you at least a reason why you should use it. Again, there isn't too much reason to use it for a solo project because you have all the files. You're the only one making the changes. The only thing it's really useful for is, say, keeping track of all the history of things. But even then, you could still do the redundant things of push and pull requests and authorizing those, so that way when you do work on a project, you already have the habits down for that stuff. Yeah, you can do a pull request to get a new branch, and then a push request, I think is the term, to merge it back. There's the updated version. Okay. What has changed? Looks new, except for this. Oh, copy commits to another branch. Alright. That's nice. Implied split. Oh! Oh, that's cool. Side by side now. Oh, that's beta. Whatever. Let's look at unified then. Wait, can I just... Alright, cool. It's not a long drop down. So I'm going to find one with multiple... Yeah, maybe like this. And this should be split. Okay, it does have some of the break space here. That's good. Yeah, it's going to do direct comparisons. Nice. Of course, the formatting is not quite. That should all be on one line. I mean, it is technically on one line, but not. Whatever. Wrapping. Small window wrapping. So yes, that's GitHub. People also use GitHub to distribute files because, as I said, you can download stuff from GitHub repositories. So some projects, instead of going to like a download site, they just link straight to the GitHub page. Then you just download the files from there. So yeah, I should make a repository for this. Because then on top of the work log, because the work log, honestly, it could catalog exactly what I'm doing, but GitHub's going to do a better job at that. So here I can instead catalog why I do what I do and what I'm planning. Either way, I'll get better at it. And just in case you're annoyed by the one single notification there, that's for a new manga chapter. That's why I haven't, you know. I guess I could bring it up on the browser and read it later. Notification gone. Okay, where was I? The actual coding of things? I think I was going to do, or at least try the initialization. I think I have the basics down. Now, there should be a few variables I'm missing, like script delay. But most everything else is like extraneous and situational stuff for things that I need to implement first. And then you can make variables for after. Oh, level up. Oh. Level up. I never did come up with a formula to modify base magic cost for spells. I know I have to at least square root it, but like, I'm gonna put level stuff right after references instead of after stats. What was it called? Let's keep naming consistent. Level up variables. Okay. Now, so I don't have, it doesn't keep sinking behind it, move it over to the left monitor. Off of stream. Correctly. I think with GitHub you can also define where the repository is on your computer, so you don't have to like manually choose the files that you wanted to update your branch with. You can literally just, when you say you want to update, it'll just take a snapshot of your folder and note the changes. GitHub is pretty cool. It hosts so many open source projects. Yeah, open source just means anybody can come in and code some stuff for it. Maybe one person has to vet it all. I don't know. I think things would be a bit chaos if it didn't, though. I don't need an extra. There we go. Okay, so we need base and a multiplier. Right. I was wondering why I have the base as a float in Sephiros, and then I remember the damage you take is actually a float. Even though the UI displays ints, there's actual decimals in there that are hidden. That's why it has to be a float. I mean, we're dealing with Magicka, which I think is ints, but, well, a long or a float, you know? Well, it'll be a short or a float, I suppose, so, yeah, float. Is XP rec increment. So for now, tentatively, that's going to be 300. sorry. It's not going to be an actual comment. Tentatively, that's going to be 330. Then we have the resist different damage types, which does not apply to the jewelry. Otherwise, I mean, if the jewelry, I think, would make sense to have dynamic resistances on it. But if we have 8 sources instead of 6, or even 5, actually I brought it down to 5 in Sephiroth, but if we have 8 sources instead of 5, that's gonna be so unbalanced. Because then you gain 8% resistance every tick. Every time it ticks up by 1, you get 8% more. Ugh. A lot of this stuff is unique just to Sephiroth. It's a lot of upgradables, honestly. Then there's a level cap type, break level, break threshold. Can you even break jewelry? Nah, not really. Oh, there's also the wish thing. Is that going to be a base effect? So I went through Butterfly Bistro, because I know I typed out some stuff in there, some thoughts. And I initially thought I'd do an analyze thing, you know, like in all the isekai manga, where you can just look at a thing and it'll pull up a window with all the information on that thing in it. And because there's spells that do that from mods in Oblivion, so I'm thinking, yeah, I could make that the base effect and you get hotkey, or it's automatically, whatever. You get the info, and it can scale with like a range and maybe amount of info. And I forgot about that last week. And then we came up with wishes. So every X amount of days you get to make like Y number of wishes. Still not sure what the amount will be for X and Y. Probably one wish every like 10 days, I'm thinking. But who knows? And then what can scale is the actual like magnitude of the wish's effects, which, yeah, this is gonna be pretty in depth, pretty awesome if it goes through, and I can make it go through. But this is a lot more involved. Or is it? Frick, it might not be. Because, I mean, the analyzing things, doing an identify analysis would, on the player's end, that'd be a lot less complex. Just look at a thing, you get some info. But, like, on the back end, I'd have to figure out all the functions that I need to do. I need to call to pull out all the info and then sift through it. I need to do it in a quick fashion because I have one frame to pull out all this info and collate it. Alright, one thing you're also thinking of, what was it? Oh, I have right here in the work log, 10-day cooldown. Alright. Yeah. So what was I thinking? Oh, so here we just went through thoughts on this. This isn't like final work. So, yeah, I forgot what I planned to have as a base enchantment in AR's clothing. And then all the things I could do, it could be a base shield effect, it could multiply gold found, but Imperials do that for the racial trait. Chance to duplicate looted items, but then what if it's a quest item or something that there should really only be one of in the world? How do I check for that? Multiply XP gain? It's possible. Multiply first time racial bonuses, but what about mods that like completely remove the statistical or numerical values to it and make them just mechanical? Multiply active effects? I mean, like, it could get very broken, but hey, you can do that. Reduce durability damage. I mean, that is actually helpful. There's a possibility. It's a bit mundane, but then what happens when you get to 100%? 100% reduced durability. And like, do you gain durability every time you hit? Then that gets broken because then you get like 300% durability, which triples the value on all your armor and weapons. Okay. Well, enchantment effects, so we're doing active effects but narrowed down to just enchantments. Like, alright. Again, they can get broken, but less so. Active spell effects, just the inverse. Reduce spell cost. I mean, we're looking at the base cost, not the end cost, so that way even if you get to 200 on the skill, which gives you 100% cost reduction, you still get XP. Because we're looking at the base cost, and that won't be modified, so we could do that. The question is how. And then I asked Sobit, do you have any ideas? He said, I wish. And you know exactly how I meant to say I wish, but I went, I see. Allowing a person to make wishes. Came up with that. We can also reduce greater power cooldown, or increase the number of casts per cooldown. But no, what I end up going with is just allow X wishes per in-game month, or one wish every X days, or whatever. And then we decide how the wish should play out. One way to do it is just random blessings. It's easy. There's no real player interaction. It's just, you know, every X amount of days you just get a random buff to your stats. That's it. And as the jewelry gets better, buffs get better. Or more frequent, I don't know. But you can't do too much wacky stuff, because since the player doesn't really choose any of it, they may end up with something super crazy or detrimental to them, and then they kind of just be stuck with it. But I'm much more involved with the idea of like letting you make a wish. But, well, yeah, it's right here. Text parser is a no. If I really knew how to use the text parser, text input functions in OBSE, then I could attempt it. I could like implement a very basic one, but then I'd have to have an actual text parser, which means I need to account for every single possible sentence you can type in with every misspelling, and I'm not sure how I'd even get to do that. So a parser is okay, that would be way more work than the entire rest of the mod combined, probably. So no thank you, I'm just going to give you a random list and hope I cover all the possible options. So to that end, instead of having static wishes, it's going to be a random list. No paging. I know how to do paging at this point, but with the message boxes, but no thanks, no paging. So you just get 9 possible wishes, because one button has to be cancelled if you decide you don't want to make a wish. But then you're thinking, well, 9 wishes, that's not too many over a long playthrough, because they'll be a random 9, and it'll cycle through them, and it could be every time you make a wish, sure. But then, like, if you have a list you don't like, then you're just kind of stuck with pick your poison. So I'll have it be, again, any configurable. Every one in-game day, it's going to recycle the list. So if you don't like what you got today, you can just check back tomorrow. And I'm aiming for 15 plus wishes, but when I started to think of wish effects, they're probably well over 20. Especially when we go to like, oh yeah, I want you to just fortify an attribute, because there's 8 attributes and 21 skills. That's 29 potential wish options right there. They might be mundane, but they still wish options. So I'm just thinking of more unique things, like bonus XP for X hours, creatures stop being hostile for X hours. I mean, if I could do something that like spawns an enemy for you to fight, like I wish for whatever, a worthy opponent could spawn an enemy. But how to do that immersively is a whole other issue. Because it would be very easy to just, like, teleport in an NPC to next to the player that's hostile, and then you fight. And there you go, there's your worthy opponent. Technically wish fulfilled, but that's going to be very jarring when the guy just poofs into existence right there and then. Rather have it be like, oh yeah, I wish for a worthy opponent, and then as you're traveling down the road, a guy comes up to you and is like, I don't like the way you look. 2 arms! And it turns out to be a tough fight, whatever. That, if I can implement it like that, then sure, that's an idea. Then we can have some joke wishes, like I wish for another wish, instead of I wish for 3 wishes, because, no thank you. Yeah. Sobit wanted a rat companion, but I'm... The companion AI in Oblivion, this was the first game where they actually had companions. So all they did was just take the normal AI and then just add on an extra directive to follow the player when not in combat. Which means the AI is still incredibly stupid and doesn't try to sneak with you. They don't disengage with you. They just fight as soon as they see stuff. It's not pleasant, so it'd be very annoying to have a companion. And I'm not entirely sure how to... Well, no, I could look it up, but I don't think I'll do companions. May change in the future if I think it's not too much work, but for now, no thank you, because it would not be very pleasant to play, and I'd have to figure out how it works. But yeah, joke wishes will still be a thing now. So far I only have I wish for another wish. Which all it will do is just cycle the list. I mean, initially I was going to have it do absolutely nothing, because you're expending your 1 wish to get yourself another wish, so you gain net 0. But then I thought, you know what, let's just have it cycle wishes so it actually does something. But it'll still be a random option. You won't always be able to cycle it with that, so, you know. What else, though, for wish effects? I mean, I definitely went through the mundane statistical ones very early on. I mean, I guess you could wish for a crit chance. I mean, since I will be implementing a critical hit system into the game. Well, a chance-based, an RNG-based critical hit system. I would prefer a more mechanically based critical hit system, because then it's consistent and it's rewarding skill, but I totally get the appeal of RNG. Us humans get a lot more attentive when sometimes the good thing happens instead of every single time. Alright, level up variables. Of that, and then we get into today's stuff. We need Avert S level camp, which will probably be like 201, same as all the others. As camp type. Again, could jewelry break? I'm really not sure how jewelry could break. If I wanted to, I can think of some ways to force in a break thing, like you have to cast magic every so often, otherwise it delevels, or you have to sleep every so often, but rather use in-game systems, you know? That's why Deus Ex is why they would destroy them. They have durability, so, you know, you don't treat it well, then you lose things. Of course, I could make the jewelry armor with 0 AR. Then it has durability. And you have to be careful of it. But I decided against that because all jewelry in the game is clothing. It's classified as clothing. So I'll keep this stuff classified as clothing too. Which I guess means it can't break. Yeah, and the absorption stuff, I've had a request to split it into XP and durability, because right now they are linked to the same thing. So, I should do that, but clothing has no durability, so never mind, on this one anyway. Then there's the trackers, but I'm not sure if I should include them now. Yeah, I should. Alright, so the shirt, S, combat XP. Oh, that would be... No, I should make that float. F. F, XP. Wait, if the base is a... why is combat XP short in Sephiroth? Maybe. Maybe I don't actually use combat XP to track. Yeah, I remember. I'm just adding XP directly to it, and then combat XP is just, oh hey, we logged how much XP you had at the start. So then we subtract out how much XP you have now at the end of combat, and that's what combat XP should be. Unless it's a flag. Even use that variable then. I think it's unused. I have a global for it. But do I need a global though? Okay, I'll leave that be then. As I was saying, I'm not sure I actually should be implementing those right now. And the level of the cap flags I think I should have though. Alright. We are 2229, so that will do for today. It's going to be a very slow process as we're only coding once per week for 2 hours. Oh. Yeah, you have a good night too. Alright. Here we go. Have a good night. Maybe we finish knocking off Planet Tree tomorrow night. Maybe I just grind more.